CBS 6 News at 11 starts with a breaking news alert.
Breaking news tonight after Crime Insider sources say a bad wreck left one person in life-threatening condition. Thanks for joining us here at 11. I'm Janine Samuels. The crash happened along Chippenham Parkway near the Hopkins exit. Sources believe a motorcycle is involved. When police arrived around 9 p.m., they found a person in critical condition. We have reached out to officials regarding this incident and are waiting to hear back. New tonight, Jay Jones, the Democratic nominee for Virginia Attorney General, sent out an apology to the Speaker of the House of Delegates. This is after Jones, a former delegate, sent a former legislative colleague text messages 3 years ago suggesting he would like to shoot the Speaker of the House of Delegates. Earlier today, Jones said in a statement, quote, "I take full responsibility for my actions and I want to issue my deepest apology to Speaker Gilbert and his family. Reading back those words made me sick to my stomach. I am embarrassed, ashamed, and sorry. I have reached out to Speaker Gilbert to apologize directly to him, his wife Jennifer, and their children. I cannot take back what I said. I can only take full accountability and offer my sincere apology." Virginians deserve honest leaders who admit when they are wrong and own up to their mistakes. This was a grave mistake, and I will work every day to prove to the people of Virginia that I will fight for them as Attorney General. The series of texts was first reported by the National Review. He reportedly sent Delegate Kerry Coyner text about hypothetically shooting Speaker Todd Gilbert back in 2022 and wishing violence upon his children. Delegate Coyner has confirmed Jones sent her a number of text messages, several of which read, Jones writes, 3 people, 2 bullets, Gilbert, Hitler, and Pol Pot. Gilbert gets 2 bullets to the head. Spoiler, put Gilbert in the crew with the 2 worst people you know, and he receives both bullets every time. Coyner replies, Jay, please stop. Jones replies, LOL, okay, okay. Coyner sent us a statement that says on August 8th, 2022, I had a text conversation with Jay Jones. What he said was not just disturbing, but disqualifying for anyone who wants to seek public office. Jay Jones wished violence on the children of a colleague and joked about shooting Todd Gilbert. It's disgusting and unbecoming of any public official. We've reached out to the Jones campaign and they sent a statement that reads, like all people, I've sent text messages that I regret and I believe that violent rhetoric has no place in our politics. Let's be clear about what is happening in the Attorney General race right now. Jason Miyares is dropping smears through Trump-controlled media organizations to assault my character and rescue his desperate campaign. This is a strategy that ensures Jason Miyares will continue to be accountable to Donald Trump, not the people of Virginia. This race is about whether Trump can control Virginia or Virginians control Virginia. Candidate Jones was supposed to appear on the 7:30 news tonight for a one-on-one conversation with our Bill Fitzgerald. His campaign chief canceled that interview this morning. Separately, Jones also addressed his reckless driving conviction that same year for going 116 miles per hour on I-64 in New Kent County. You can find that statement at WTBR.com. Last week, 4 parked cars on Bethel Street in the city's East End were damaged, with 2 of them becoming total losses. Our crime insider John Burkett speaks to an owner of one of the cars who says it's been 6 long days of dealing with violent hit and runs.
Shards of glass and parts of cars still scattered on Bethel Street in Wickham Court.
The kids just fell asleep, and we heard a massive bang like someone set off a cannon.
Ethan White says he rushed to look out the bedroom window late Saturday night around 10:18 p.m.
My heart just dropped because of how close it was, and we went right to the window and saw the silver SUV slamming into the back of the neighbor's blue car, pushing it up after it pushed it up the road into the back of mine, and they were wedged right in between them.
A total of 4 cars damaged, 2 of which were totaled. And the worst part, the SUV backed off the bumper and took off, the driver still at large.
I'm hoping that somebody can find these people, that we can go ahead and bring them to justice, and so they can pay for all of the damage that they've caused me and our neighbor, that the inconvenience they've caused for us trying to get back and forth to work, make a living for our families. Like I've had to use up all my PTO time just to deal with this. I only have a rental to the end of the week, so it's just a mess.
A mess causing Ethan's neighbor, a cancer patient, to have to find a way to get to her appointments. A woman who had just finished paying this car off. Ethan believes if detectives will use their resources, the case will lead to an arrest and a slam dunk in court.
There's cameras up the street and down the street, at least 8 per pole, looking at every possible direction that they can easily see where the crash happened, the people fleeing the scene and coming around the corner.
The victims say someone on that street knows who was driving the SUV last Saturday night, and they need to give it up. Police say if you have that information, call their anonymous tip line at 804-780-1000, or you can text a tip using the P3 app. John Burkett, CBS 6 News.
Disgraced music mogul Sean Diddy Combs was emotionless after finally learning he will be spending a little over 4 years in prison. Sean Diddy Combs spoke on his own behalf, calling his own behavior disgusting, shameful, and sick, saying he, quote, abused power and control with women he professed to love. In July, a jury found the music mogul guilty of 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, linked to 2 ex-girlfriends, Cassandra Ventura and another woman who testified as Jane. Combs was acquitted on the 2 more serious charges of racketeering and sex trafficking, avoiding the possibility of life in prison. Sean Combs has already spent 13 months in jail and will get credit for time served. The judge is also requiring him to pay a $500,000 fine along with 5 years of supervised release. Well, Julie, it is Friday. The weather was gorgeous today, and it looks like we're going to get a little bit of the same this weekend.
Yeah, I think this weekend overall is going to be pretty pleasant if you do have outdoor activities planned, especially if you thought today was on the cool side, then you're really going to appreciate Saturday and also Sunday. We're going to get to Friday's final score Friday in just a second. But 56 degrees is the current temperature, and humidity's come up a little bit, so we can't rule out some patchy fog. We're already beginning to see it develop right around Richmond and Point Southward. Visibility's come down just a little bit, so watch out for that during the early morning hours of tomorrow. Temperature wise, we're sitting in the 50s for Richmond, low 50s for Ashland, back through Chester. We're right at 50 in Stanton, and it is going to stay mainly cool tonight for a lot of the areas. As we're waking up tomorrow, we've got quiet skies, clear skies, and that means a beautiful setup to the weekend. We are going to be featuring just a lot of sunshine both Saturday and Sunday, keeping it dry, and then the temperatures will be approaching near 80 degrees before the weekend is over with. And then the next best chance of rain not arriving until midweek of next week, and it's looking like that is going to be a fast mover, so it'll only stick around for a day and then it will be out of here. All right, lows tonight, lots of 40s surrounding downtown Richmond, which will be one of the warmer spots at 50 as we're waking up tomorrow morning, and then a round of upper 70s for Saturday. Just as cool Sunday morning to kick things off, upper 40s to low 50s, but even warmer to finish it. We're going to look at those temperatures to near 80 degrees stretching along I-95 and especially west and south of Richmond, making it into the low 80s. But we will keep it pretty quiet. We've got an area of high pressure that is just offshore here, so you can see just how uneventful the weather is for much of the eastern seaboard. So rain chances pretty non-existent until we hit Wednesday, and then it looks like a lot of us will see some rain with a cold front that's going to be approaching in, mainly coming in out of the northwest. So we're looking at that to swing on through. That's going to be happening late Tuesday night into the early hours of Wednesday, and then the thunderstorms will likely become more widespread as the day wears on Wednesday, and then the back edge of that drier air will be here on Thursday morning. Hour by hour, taking you through the day tomorrow. Plenty of sunshine again, maybe one cloud here or there, but if you're heading to the mountains, temperatures are going to be actually much cooler. We've got low 70s for both days, and then that overnight low of 47 degrees. But looking ahead, again, warmer on Sunday, and then we're going to see that round of 80-degree weather that will take us through Tuesday. Wednesday is going to be our transitional day. Once that front moves through, those temperatures will take a big drop into the upper 60s for that daytime high Thursday, and then pretty pleasant as we round out the work week with 70 on Friday. Janine?
Hey, thank you, Julie. It's what we have been waiting for all week long. It's time for Final Score Friday. Let's go to Lane and Sean and the cheerleaders from Dinwiddie High School.
Yeah, Janine, that's right. After this week, everybody will be at least halfway through their schedule, so we're getting a better picture on which teams have designs on practicing Thanksgiving morning. There were 2 games last night we're going to get to in a moment. We start with the Monaca Chiefs coming off their first win under new head coach Justin Akers last week against Powhatan. Bulldogs had not won on the field against the Chiefs since 1999. First half, Torrey Foster with a 6-yard touchdown run puts the Chiefs up 7-0. Then Monacan on defense, Siraj Khalik is going to come up with a tackle for loss behind the line of scrimmage. Next Monacan possession, Dion Hallback, 8-yard touchdown pass to Brandon Hughes made it 14-0. Richmond High School for the Arts made this a game in the second half, but Monacan holds on for a second straight win as they knock off the Bulldogs 27-24. Week 6 Final Score Friday next.
Final Score Friday with Sports Director Lane Casadante and Sean Robertson. Sponsored by Oak Valley Custom Hardscapes, Blazer Heating, Air and Plumbing, and Central Atlantic Toyota.
Good evening, everyone. It is week 6 of Final Score Friday. Sean and I welcome in the cheerleaders from Dinwiddie, who made the trek up I-95 tonight as their Generals had their game last night. So we thank them for coming in on their night off, and we'll show you how they did in just a couple of moments. We begin with our Game of the Week, a series that has been played for over 60 years, but never like it was tonight.
Not at all. Both Thomasdale and Meadowbrook came in undefeated tonight, which hadn't happened in the series. The Knights have won 9 of the last 10, and this year had not allowed more than a touchdown to any of their first 4 opponents. The dark zone defense.
Oh, yeah,
Meanwhile,
it's good.
Meadowbrook came into the showdown having scored 172 points in their first 4 games. Late first quarter, Knights up 2-0 after a safety. On the ensuing drive, Wyatt Jessup connects with Daniel Lewis for a 38-yard touchdown. Dale is up 8-0 to the second. Same score. Meadowbrook gets on the board behind Ricari Enoch Bailey. 2-yard touchdown run, tack on the 2-point conversion. Game was tied at 8 at the break. We fast forward to late in the 4th. Dale goes for it on 4th and goal. Ooh. Cole Lineberger gets stopped shy of the goal by Enoch Bailey, keeping the game tied at 8. But just over a minute to go, Deshaun Chisholm looks for the out route. It's picked off by Christopher Ward, and he takes it down inside of the Monarchs 5. Under 15 seconds left, Lineberger, the Navy commit, gets another chance and comes through with a 2-yard touchdown that proved to be the game winner. Thomasdale tacks on a 2-point conversion and stays unbeaten with a 16-8 win over Meadowbrook, their 8th straight in the series.
We don't have any off weeks in the Central District. I told you that going into this. That team right there is going to be a playoff team. They're going to give everybody everything they want to handle. We got Matoka next week, and they've had the toughest schedule in the region. Got to turn around and play Dinwiddie in 2 weeks. So, like I said, it doesn't get any easier for us.
No, it does not. They're going to rely on that defense. Staying in Chesterfield for third-ranked Manchester, hosting Midlothian. Trojans fell out of the top 10 after last week's loss to Huguenot. These two had split their last 4 meetings, but the Lancers up big at the half. Third quarter, Midlo tries to get something going on defense. The pass is tipped and picked off by Nathaniel Coppage to stop the drive, but Manchester would have their own defense. Zion Harris with the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Then later, Manchester kicking off. Midlo can't handle the kick. It's muffed. It's recovered by Kyle McCray. That led to a Dior Barnes 5-yard touchdown run. It was all Lancers tonight as they shut out the Trojans 43-0.
All right, ladies, from last night, second-ranked Dinwiddie looking to stay unbeaten, hosting Hopewell. First play from scrimmage down at the pit, the Navy Nation in full force. Hopewell's Deshaun Bristol will have the ball knocked out of his hands by Pierre Fields and recovered by Sean Hill deep in Blue Devils territory. Couple of plays later, Zion Boyso with the short touchdown run, point after good for Dinwiddie, and they're up 7-0. And a shot of those cheerleaders again.
They're in again twice.
Later in the first, Joshua Adams, the first of his 2 touchdown runs on the night. He had 128 yards rushing. Dinwiddie up 14-0. Still in the first, Boyso goes up top to Nyan Mason. wide open. 65 yards on the pitch and catch. Boyso accounted for 4 touchdowns in the game. Generals stay unbeaten, 42-7 over Hopewell.
Also from last night, number 5 Highland Springs on the road visiting Phoebus. The Phantoms came up here and won at Highland Springs last year. They also had a 33-game winning streak snapped last week. Second quarter from down at Darling Stadium, Antoine Richardson, 24-yard touchdown pass to Jalen Padmore. In the back and gets a foot in, and that gives the Springers a 7-0 lead. Then Richardson, 16-yard run. It was 14-0 at the half. Richardson rushed for 3 touchdowns himself last night, and he did it on defense as he comes up with the interception to stop a Phantoms drive. Springers shut out Phoebus 28-0. It was the first time the Phantoms have been shut out in 9 years.
Back to tonight's action. Number 8 Huguenot hosting O.C. Bird. The Falcons have turned this series around in recent years. They have won 3 of the last 5 against the Skyhawks. Pick it up third quarter. Huguenot's only up 7-0. And L.C. Bird gets on the scoreboard with a Gerardo Salgado 39-yard field goal to cut Huguenot's lead to 7-3. Then the defense comes up with a big play. Joshua Jiggets, the INT on Charles Scott Jr., keeping it 7-3 Huguenot.
Getting Jiggets with it.
Oh, very good there, Lane, showing his vibe. But in the fourth, Charles Scott hits Najan Bostic down to the 20 for a 15-yard gain. It will then set up Scott's 19-yard touchdown pass to Malik Porter. 14-3 Huguenot. At that point, they get the victory 28-3 over L.C. Bird.
Another team looking to bounce back from a loss. St. Christopher's hosting Fork Union over in the near West End. The Saints won this game easily on the road last year up at Fork Union. First quarter, very first play of the game. Chase Roberts on the play action goes up top to J.J. Tidwell. 55 yards on the pitch and catch, and that made it 8-0 after the 2-point conversion. Then Roberts to Jerron Johnson, who makes a move and is gone around the outside. He outruns the defense. 39 yards on the score, 14-0. Colin Johnson would have a 9-yard touchdown run in the second quarter, and the Saints did it with defense the rest of the way as they roll 43-8 to improve to 5-1 on the season. Still to come, plenty more from Week 6 of Final Score Friday. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Final Score Friday, sponsored by Oak Valley Custom Hardscapes, Blazer Heating, Air, and Plumbing, and Central Atlantic Toyota.
Welcome back to Final Score Friday. The cheerleaders from Dinwiddie have been kind enough to spend their night off with us in studio after their Generals got the win last night over Hopewell. But back to tonight's games. Armstrong making their first appearance of the season in our Coaches Poll Top 10 this week at number 10 after starting their second straight season at 5-0.
And they've done it largely with defense as well, pitching 3 shutouts and only allowing 21 points through their first 5 games. One of the